Today, working with one step, multiplying and dividing equations. Okay, so last week we focused on adding and subtracting. This week we're working on multiplying and dividing. Friday you will have a quiz over all four of them. They will be mixed. Yep. So you're going to have to know when to do what. So we're going to be working on that this week. So if I give you C divided by 4 equals 6. My first steps do not change. So what do I do first? Box your letter. Then what?
Line, draw line through the equal sign.
Line through the equal sign. Now what?
Times 4?
Times 4, because I'm dividing by 4. So when I times by 4, I'm just going to write it with a little dot on the side with a 4, and then the same thing on the other side. So when I times over here, those 4's cancel out. So I'm left with C is equal to 6 times 4, which is, what's 6 times 4? 24. Okay, so when it's written like a fraction like this, it means divide, so you gotta do the opposite, which means times. You do this is already divide, so I need to do the opposite, which is times. Because I can check, if I take this number and divide it by 4, I should be able to get 6 back. So 24 divided by 4 is 6, so I know that works.
24 or 6 times 4?
This is 6 times 4 on this side.
So you would times it?
We times to get rid of this 4 here. So we times by 4 on this side. We have to times by 4 on this side. Alright, let's try another one. 8x equals 16. Isaiah, are you writing this down? So, draw your line, box your letter. When it's a number and a letter right next to each other, what is it? It's times, so the opposite is divide. So I need to divide by 8, because that's what's in front of my letter. So I have x is equal to 16 divided by 8? 2.
Wait, can you have them name that?
No. What about negative y over 9 equals negative 2? So draw your line, box your letter. Now this negative sign, I don't want a negative y, so I'm going to move it down with my 9. So I'm going to change that one to a positive. It doesn't matter if it's with the y or the 9 or on the outside. Okay, so I'm just going to remember that it's with my 9. So it's a negative 9. Positive y, negative 9. Okay, so this is divide right now, so what's the opposite? Multiply. But when I multiply now, I'm going to multiply by a negative 9. Okay? So when you multiply or divide, if the number is negative, you have to keep it negative. If it's positive, you keep it positive. Don't do the opposite of that. You just do the opposite. If it's divide, then you multiply. If it's multiply, you divide. Keep the sign the same of the number. Okay? So negative 9 cancels out. So I'm left with y is equal to negative 2 times negative 9 gives me positive 18. Negative times a negative is a positive. What don't you get? What's the opposite of multiply? Divide. So here's a multiply problem. So we divided by the number that was in front of x. This is all review from last year. We did all this last year. Negative 3x is equal to 12. Negative 3x is equal to 12. Draw your line, box your letters. Now what am I going to do? Caleb, what am I going to do?
Wait, what'd you do?
What operations between my 3 and my x? What operations between my 3 and my x? What operations between my 3 and my x?
I have an answer for what's not like. I literally.
Kylie, what is it? Multiply. When it's a number. No, you didn't. So, when it's a number and a letter, it's multiply. So I gotta do the opposite. What's the opposite, Caleb? Division. So what am I gonna divide by? Just not 3, but negative 3. Blake, are you paying attention? Okay. So x is equal to 12 divided by negative 3. Kylie?
4.
Not just 4.
Negative 4.
Negative 4. You gotta remember your rules of integers. You're the one saying you don't get it. Negative 4z equals to 24. Negative 4z equals to 24. Draw your line, box your letter. Now what? Xavier, what am I going to do? Just a 4, or is it a negative 4? Okay, what else do I have to do? Why would I subtract? What does it say at the top of my notes that I'm doing today? Well, they're already being multiplied over here. Divide. But if I divide this side, what do I have to do? Can I just divide one side? No, so what do I have to do? Okay. So I'm left with z is equal to what? What's 24 divided by negative 4?
I have an answer. Okay.
Maybe you should be paying attention. Kylie? Negative 6. Okay. What about 4 over 19 equals x over 19?
Fun.
Draw your line, you three, move. Separate from each other. I'm done. You've lost any chance to sit next to each other anymore.
When we like none of us can sit by each other. I can't sit by you or Jay. Like if I'm sit like this, you guys all sit like this. No, I'm trying to.
Yes.
I just say whatever I want. Yeah, but my head will.
Wait, Miss Potter is patiently waiting for everyone so she can get back to our math problem. Am I correct?
Yeah.
It's okay, it's all being recorded.
Okay, let's see. Huh?
It's all being recorded, so that's okay.
Oh, you're recording.
Box my letter, now what? I don't understand this. No. What operations between my x and my 19? I need to multiply, so what do I need to multiply by? multiply by 19. So when I multiply this side by 19, those cancel out, and I'm just left with a 4 is equal to x. Because really this is 19 over 1. Remember cross-reducing with fractions? Okay, when they're the same thing, you can cross them out and change them to 1. So this would just be left with a 4. Okay, let's try another one like that. 5 over 7 equals to y over negative 7. So box your letter, draw your line. Now what?
Multiply by 7.
Multiply by a negative 7. Now that's still going to cancel, but I still have that negative sign, so that negative is going to go with the 5.
Negative 5.
So it would be a negative 5 is equal to y. Okay. Open your notebooks to page 3. Today is November 7th. We're in a new quarter, so we're on page 3. One step, multiplying and dividing equations. And I'm going to abbreviate equations to E, Q, and S. And then whatever page number you were on. So right underneath the first entry, Blake, you're going to write the next one. 11-7, one step, multiply and divide equations. And then what page number you were on.